Tackle Junkies, what's going on, fellas? Real appreciate you guys clicking on the video. I do apologize for standing in the same spot the last 3 videos, but you know what? It was a beautiful day out here. We had some time to shoot some video, so I figured, why not? And big shout out to Carl's Bait and Tackle for sponsoring today's video. If you guys are not familiar with Carl's, it's an online tackle store. They have a pretty cool membership deal there. It's like 49 bucks for the year, up to 30% off on most things on the site. After a couple orders, you'll get your money right back in savings. Definitely check them out, guys. They're linked down below in every video. Again, big shout out to Carl's for sponsoring today's video. Let's go and hop into the video on line for the beginner. All right, let's grab some fluorocarbon, some braid, and some mono. And we're going to make this as easy as possible for you guys. All right, as a beginner, one thing I'm sure on your mind is budget, okay? As a beginner, it doesn't matter if you're using spinning gear or casting gear, you're going to go through some line. You're gonna backlash, you're gonna get a bird's nest, you're gonna have to replace your line, and doing that with fluorocarbon and braid is going to get very expensive. That reason alone, don't buy it, man. In the beginning, do not buy it. Stick with mono, okay? Mono can be a bit easier to manage as well, and like I said, it's cheaper to replace, okay? So for that reason alone, fluorocarbon braid off the table. But I want to tell you guys the benefits of using each, okay, kind of the characteristics of them as well. So you know, once you kind of are a bit more experienced, you can kind of branch out to different types of line to really benefit you out on the water. You'll pick up an extra fish or two. But think about it, guys. I'm sure every one of you guys watching this video has been fishing for a good amount of time. I mean, I've been fishing for bass fishing at least for 20 plus years, right? And you know, I've caught bass a bunch of different ways on mono line. Heck, I used to frog fish with 20-pound mono, okay? You can still catch fish today, pretty much any technique using mono. It was done years ago, it can be done today. Like I said, you can pick up an extra fish or two using maybe fluorocarbon or braid, but mono will still work, okay? It's the cheapest of the 3, okay? Cheapest of the 3, the Bass Pro Mono, I used to buy that, like I said, years ago. It's like 1,500 yards you would get for like 15 or 20 bucks. I mean, it would last you literally years. And like I said, it's a great line. I frog fish with it. You know, since the line itself is a bit softer, it's got more stretch, I would use a rod that's got, you know, a bit faster tip to kind of make up for some of that stretch. So I don't want to get too much into that because that could confuse some of the beginners. But like I said, mono is a great starter line. Very inexpensive, easier to manage. And like I said, it's not that costly to replace it, all right? So mono is a floating line with a lot of stretch, okay? Fluorocarbon is a sinking line with less stretch. Now braid, they do make a floating and sinking braid, and braid pretty much has no stretch. Now braid, I don't throw braid that much. I mainly throw braid around grass, so swim jigs and frogging. You know, if I'm gonna pitch and flip, I normally like just fluorocarbon. Okay, I pitch and flip around a lot of wood. Okay, now if it was around grass, I'd be using the braid. But around wood, you know, braid and wood really don't mix well together. If it wraps around that wood, you pull on it, that braid digs into the wood, then you got to go in there and get it. So for me, I try to keep it pretty simple with braid. If I'm around grass, I use braid. If not, I use the fluorocarbon, okay? So that's kind of how I use the braid. Now fluorocarbon, okay, I use fluorocarbon the most, okay? It has less stretch and it's a sinking line, okay? It's great for working the bottom. It's a bit more sensitive with the less stretch. And like I said, it's a sinking line. So I use it for, like I said, crankbaits when I'm trying to get more depth and all that out of my baits. Because it's a sinking line, has a smaller diameter compared to like a mono line, you'll get more depth out of your crankbaits. Like I said, it's more sensitive. It's great to work the bottom and things like that. But like I said, it's a sinking line. So this is not a line that you can use for everything. That's another reason I would take it off the table for the beginner. If you tie fluorocarbon onto a popper, okay, you throw it out there, you'll get a few twitches out of it, but then your line's gonna start to sink. Okay, and it's gonna drag the nose of your bait down. It's no longer going to work properly. Now you can use it on like a whopper plopper or a buzz bait, a bait that you're moving fast enough, but any bait that you're going to be sitting out there for any amount of time, the line's gonna start to sink and it's no longer going to work properly. So fluorocarbon is not very top water friendly. Again, another reason we're taking it off the table. But like I said, it definitely has its time and place. It's a line that I use the most for most things. Like I said, all my moving baits, working the bottom and things like that. But like I said, for the beginner, it's a bit pricey. It's a bit harder to manage, and like I said, it's a sinking line, so you cannot do everything with the fluorocarbon. Now, it's great for clear water because it's dang near invisible under the water. So again, it does have its time and place, but it's not for the beginner. So like I said, guys, in a nutshell, man, the mono is definitely the cheapest way to go. It's more manageable than the other lines as well. And like I said, it's just, you get so much for your money. You know, if it was me, for the beginner, I would definitely go with the mono line. Like I said, the most for your money. It's a floating line, so you can do everything with it. You can work the bottom, you can work your top water. It's a good all-around line. Not the best for everything, but it will do everything, unlike, you know, the fluorocarbon that can't. You cannot throw your top waters on the fluorocarbon. It's a bit too pricey, harder to manage and all that. If you're a beginner, you take one thing out of this video, get the mono for the beginner. Guys, you guys are awesome. I truly appreciate you guys watching the video. Make sure you guys smash the thumbs up, leave some comments down below. Love you guys. Thanks again to Carl for sponsoring today's video, and we will see you guys on the next one.